My second full year, after that first year of 18, I did 28. And then I think it was my third full year, 3.5 years in, I did 48 sales. What's your secret sauce? Like, what's your superpower?
Hey everyone, I am so excited today. I have got superstar Brent Gove here. He is ready to get fired up, and you should be too. He has sold thousands and thousands of homes and has helped thousands, yes, thousands of real estate agents achieve an awesome business and awesome life. So we're going to interview him from where he was at, what got him to where he is right now, and how he can help you achieve the same success. Brent, welcome.
Thank you, Krista. Great to be here.
So Brent is a busy guy. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know obviously about you, and I like to, for the viewers, to kind of hear from you as far as where you're at before, kind of your background, your story, and how you've got to where you are right now.
All right. Well, currently I'm out here in Puerto Rico. I live in the Caribbean. I can see St. Thomas right across the ocean there. A little cloudy today, but on a nice clear day, I can see St. Thomas. So I live out here in the Caribbean. It's beautiful. And then I spend the other half of the year in Northern California, just outside of Sacramento, going towards Lake Tahoe and the foothills. So that's all wonderful. And but if you roll back the clock 26 years ago, I was 30 years old. I'm obviously now 56, but I've got in real estate like anybody else, and I did not win Rookie of the Month, Rookie of the Year. If there was a prize for struggling, I won that prize. So I did get in super part-time in my defense. And I think my first 6 months, I sold a whopping 3 homes. They were like 55,000, 65,000, and one for like 78,000 in Northern California. That's how much real estate costs in the mid 90s and that big crash back then. So that was my first 6 months. And it was okay, so. Yeah.
So, and that's what I love about you, is that you always talk about how you have failed so much in your past. And if people knew, I don't want to say where you are now, but obviously I know, I'm not sure if we're allowed to say based upon all these rules and everything, but you have an incredible life right now. You moved to Puerto Rico, you have a beautiful home on the ocean, great family. You have over 30,000 people within your organization, which is just mind boggling to me. So I think that people sometimes look at what are successful and they assume certain things, and they assume it just came easy, and they don't realize that we all bleed red and have the same struggles. Can you talk to us about some of the struggles that you went through? And maybe you can talk a little bit about your success, so I don't give away things I shouldn't say, but I want them to know, like,
you can say whatever you want to say. There's no rules here. You can do whatever you want. We're just interviewing. You're talking to me. There are no rules.
Okay.
We're playing by Krista's rules.
Brent does just an amazing, makes over $1 million a month, everyone, residually. Now, that's taken him obviously a lot of hard work to get there. He's put a lot of time, energy, and effort to get to the point where he's at. But I mean, he went from a struggling young man to somebody who is just crushing it. And it's not just monetarily what he's doing, but your whole focus now is just serving people and helping people and really uplifting people. And I think that's what makes you so special. And you do it like with the true, real heart about really wanting to help people. So that's who you're learning from right now, somebody who makes $1 million a month. So talk to us about where you started from and how you got to where you're at.
I think, thank you. And I think, people need to know I signed up for the struggle bus, whatever it takes. I was on the Whatever It Takes program. I remember my first big event was Brian Buffini in Sacramento in 1997. And he said, some of you need to go home and fire some clients, people that are negative and nasty and they don't appreciate you. But you're like, they're all I got. And he's like, get rid of them. It'll make a principle of vacuum. It'll make room for nice people, not these people who will use you, chew you up and spit you out. That really stuck with me. So I have fired clients over the years, like, this is bad juju. The red flags going up, you're like, we're done. So thank you, Brian Buffini. That was my first real estate seminar. But I think the key was, if there was a top producer panel down at the local board, I was there. If there's the Women's Council of Realtors and they had these amazing women on stage talking about how they're killing luxury or listing 100 homes a year, I was there. If there was NAREP, ARIA, young professionals in real estate, wherever it was. Howard, remember Howard Brenton, Star Power? I don't know if that might have been before
I do.
your time.
I do remember him. It's been a while, but I do remember, yes.
Yeah, I went to his event in Orlando. Craig Proctor, I flew to Ontario, Canada, which was 3,000 miles away. I flew to Denver, I flew to Phoenix, I flew to Seattle. I was on a quest for knowledge. And then I'd meet agents all over the US and Canada. And I go, man, I live in Sacramento. I'm not competing with you. What are your secrets for listings? What are your secrets for multifamily? What are your secrets? And I'm not competing with you in Chicago or Miami or New York or Calgary or BC, British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And people will tell you if you ask. And so I was just like a detective with my notepad. And my second year, I sold 18 homes. So I went from 3 homes in 6 months to 18 homes in 12 months. Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. By the way, the commissions, all the homes, those first 2 years were under 100,000. It was not 2 years till I broke into the luxury market. I sold a 3,300 square foot home in Loomis, the best suburb of Sacramento. Green pastures, white split rail fence. Every property was on 5 acres. Get the sprinklers out in the pasture. Just Mayberry, just like the land that time forgot. So beautiful. I had a little 2-stall barn. They get the little horse in the pasture. It's got the pool in the house. It was gorgeous. It was $128,000. That's all you had to spend to get that. That's how old I am. But all my commission checks, they were like 3% of $80,000. Well, 3% of 100 is $3,000. So they were like $2,600. Then my broker got half. So I was making $1,300 a house. You think, you're disappointed at 10 grand a house or 15 or 20,000 a house? Try 1,300 a house. But my second full year after that first year of 18, I did 28. And then I think it was my third full year, 3.5 years in, I did 48 sales. So I did pick it up. 3 homes in 6 months, 18 homes in the next 12, then 28, then 48. And I picked it up by copying the Krista Mashores of this world, by emulating successful people and then asking them, what's your secret sauce? Like, what's your superpower, right? I've heard you say that before, Krista, a lot. And then they tell you, like for me, it's open houses and team building and the radio. That's it. I'm good at those 3 things. I am not great at the internet. I don't even know what a click funnel is, but so that's me. But if I'm at an open house, I can grab people, they're mine. They love me. I love them. At least I think they do. And if they don't love me, that's on them because I'm going to love them. And so I'm like Captain Steubing on the Love Boat, if you've been around a while. So I'm building a love boat. My clients know I love them. I do love them, and I'll do the right thing for them. So I think going to all those events, taking notes, if you just write down what you hear, like even right now, if you just jot down a few things, you'll retain 60%. If we ask you next week, oh, you heard Dean Grazioni. How do you say Dean Grazioni?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I can never say his last name. Dean. I heard Dean and Krista, you're going to be on Wednesday with Dean. And a week later, what'd they say? Like, I don't know, but it was really good. That's unacceptable. You have like 10% retention. If you take notes, even right now with us or with Dean, you retain 60%. Fact. Always take notes. So I was a note taker. I'd sit in the front row, not the back. The back's distracting. You look at the room. Front row, baby. Taking notes, inviting the speaker. Can I buy you a coffee? Can I buy you breakfast tomorrow? Can I give you a ride back to the airport? Can I take you to lunch? That was me. And I think within 4 years, I made $393,000. It was $1999, almost $400,000. I'm like, is this legal? Like, there aren't jobs in 1999 that you could just go get. I was a college dropout. I didn't finish college. And even if you had a career, most people even now are making 70, 80, 100,000 a year. So 400,000 a year in 1999, it was insane. Awesome. And then
rich. You were rich. You were rich. That's rich back then. That's rich, Brent.
Yes, I was rich. So had a nice home, nice cars. Yeah.
Few notes. You not only were you were an avid learner, which you still are. You still take Tony Robbins trainings. You still are coached by him. Like you're an avid learner. You just went to another mastermind group. You told me you spent, I think, $30,000 to spend a day or two with someone that was more of a kind of personal health wealth coach. So you're constantly learning, but you're implementing too. Because to go from 3 to 18, which by the way is a lot, that's a 6 times the difference. But then within a 4-year time frame, you're making almost $400,000 back in what that would be 1990, like nine, was it?
It was 99,
Yeah,
1999.
that's amazing, right? So there's a couple lessons, and like anybody can do this. People, you just worked, you worked your butt off.
But I mean, but I met people who are successful and implemented what they taught me, not just
Yeah.
work, but some of you are like climbing up the wrong wall and you're doing the work wrong. I learned how to do the work right, and I succeeded. So
yeah, and you're willing to fly anywhere, ask the question, and can I take you to lunch? And they would say yes. I love that. So couple lessons. He was an avid learner, but he also learned from the right people that had already done the thing he was trying to do and emulated what they were doing. So he fast tracked, he condensed timeframes. Okay, great. All right. So now fast forward. So you sold, and in your career, you used to sell hundreds of homes a year, correct, at your peak?
well, so, and I'd like to talk about that one shift. Like I'm at 48 homes a year. I'm working 60 hours a week. I'm coaching soccer, coaching Little League, taking the family on vacations to Lake Tahoe and San Diego and Disneyland, and I have 5 kids. I'm busy. You are busy selling 48 homes a year. You're showing property, you're taking listings. You're just, it was great. I loved it, but I'm like really busy. I'm like, and we had about 800 agents at our particular Remax franchise. There were 7 of them selling about 70 homes a year. And I'm like, my gosh, how do they do it? I'm maxed at 48 because I don't want to give up Little League. I don't want to give up soccer, birthdays, vacations. I'm trying to hold it all together as a dad and you as a mom, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there's 70 and 80 homes a year. I mean, wow, how do they do it? So my neighbor read in Realtor magazine that Craig Proctor, the #1 Remax agent in the world, was doing a seminar in Toronto. He was selling 600 homes a year in a town of like 80,000 people. He had like, I don't know, 60% market share. It was insane.
Wow.
And so I flew. That's where I flew to Toronto. And that was really like, besides meeting Jesus and becoming a Christian and loving the Lord, which is the best and greatest thing that could ever happen to me. But the next thing, business-wise, not my wife and my family, but it was going to Toronto because I learned about leverage. I learned about having a database. I learned about marketing. I learned about staff. I learned about hiring some buyer's agents. So I have to run all over like a chicken with my head cut off. And so I hired a buyer's agent, then 2, then 3, then I hired an assistant. And then that year I went from 48 to 118. Bam, doubled in 1 year. And then the next year, yes, the next year I did like 220. The next year I did about 318. And the next year I did 427, just boom, 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 boom. And people like, oh my gosh. And I had a bunch of buyer's agents and I was busy, like, oh my gosh, you just must've been so busy. I actually worked way less than I did when I sold 48 homes a year. I'd go into the office at 10 or 11 and I'd leave at 3 or 4. And I didn't work the weekends and rarely worked nights because I was leveraged. I had staff to do everything. I could afford to do it, but it was just me. I did everything and I was so busy. It was easier to sell 400 homes a year than it was 48.
That's crazy. It makes sense though, but you have to be a very good leader to do that. You also have to be a very good delegator and put time into people to help them get to that point. So I would imagine maybe at first was it a little like, I'm backtracking, but that's amazing. You literally doubled every single year. It seems like you went from, doubling your numbers and working less. But what about that person that's afraid? Because you're different. There's something about you. I have to say, most people are afraid of hiring the assistant. They're afraid of hiring the buyer's agent. What are they going to give them to do? And how do you get to that point? What made you get to that point?
I love your question. And so here it is. I'm not afraid to fail. I am so willing to faceplant in a mud puddle, to embarrass myself, to humiliate myself. And I'm telling you right now, people aren't. They're like, they want to save face. They don't want to look bad. They don't want to be that guy, that gal. I don't want to bother anyone. I'm not bothering anyone. I'm trying to help them sell homes, buy homes. I'm loving them. I'm caring for them. I know if they work with me, they're going to have an amazing experience because I would give up my entire commission if that's what it took to make things right. If things go wrong for them, and I'll have a client for life. Like, man, Brent, I've done that. I have done that. Mm-hmm. And that's why I got referred and raving fans, because the client is more valuable than the money, than the paycheck. And they know that. My agents know that. I think when people build teams, they don't treat their staff right. They come in and do seagull management. They fly into the office, squawk at everyone, poop on everything, and fly out as the big guy, the big gal. And you got to come in and love everybody. You got to be patient and forgiving and understanding. And you got to coach them through it when they're making mistakes. But yelling at them, screaming at them, being like a child is unacceptable. And people, it's just funny to me. I love my agents and they know I love them.
Yeah.
I love my staff and they know I love them, and I pay them well. I reward them well. I give them a piece of the upside. And so it's worked. I've never had a retention issues ever. Every year I take my team to Maui. Every year I take my team to the Caribbean. Have done that since 90. Well, I think we started that in about 2000. I took 3 people to Maui. Hey, you hit these goals over the next 6 months. We're all going to Maui. My treat. And people are like, oh, I can't afford that. Where are your agents? Oh, they all quit. Let's see. So you were making 40, 50, 60,000 a year per agent and they quit. What are you making now? Nothing. So you can't afford to take them to Maui for $5,000, but you can afford to lose $50,000. I mean, I don't know. I'm not, some people are penny wise and pound foolish. Do the higher math. If you give, you get. If you love, you receive love. If you're grumpy and cranky, that's your world. My world, people flip me off. I wave at them. They must know me. Hey, how you doing? Cut you off, man. I've blown kisses to men on the freeway. They're like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, dude. And they're like, oh, it's okay. Big guys, big trucks, big tires. And then they all calm down instead of road rage. I go, man, I'm sorry. I love you. It's all good, buddy. It was an accident. Okay. But if you start, you get me, you get what you give.
Yes. So. And you're not exaggerating too. You are just a big love bug with people. And I've experienced the same thing. The nicer you treat people, the better they'll do for you. So it's got like, if you're doing well, do well. But you said you're not willing to fail. But what about the person, like you don't mind face planning? I get that. But what about the person that's like, well, I don't have, the money to hire an assistant or hire a buyer's agent, or how am I going to give them the stuff? How do you, because Brent, you're like, I know that when you left real estate full-time, you took out a significant loan so that you could just focus on building your organization, which also can be pretty scary. It was the best decision you made because look at where you are now, but most people do not do that. So how do you talk to someone that's scared to death? They're afraid of the financial investment or not having enough leads. What do you tell that person? Because that's 90% of people.
I can help you. So my son just graduated from high school, my youngest. I have 5, we adopted 3, so I actually have 8. But my youngest biological son just graduated from high school, Ty, and he just flew out here to my place in the Caribbean and brought 5 of his buddies. There were 6 of them as a graduation trip. Come on out, and they spent 10 days running through the rainforest. We actually have a rainforest here in Puerto Rico, U.S. territory. You can get here on a driver's license. It's great. So you're not in another country. And but basically, they snorkeled, they mountain biked, they rode quad runners, they went through the jungle, jumped off waterfalls. They had a blast. But guess what all these kids are doing? They're all going off to college in the fall. And these are 18-year-olds with acne. And the average kid will spend $40,000 this year on college to better themselves, to work on the internal them so they can go out and get a job and have external success and have a career. And they're dropping $40,000 a year. So let me ask you a question. You tell me you can't afford to go to Craig Proctor. You can get an airline ticket right now from Orlando I'm doing an event next month called Build in Dallas, and from Florida to there and back is $165 right now. You just assume it's $600-700 for an airline ticket. They're on sale right now, $165 round trip from Florida to Texas, wherever you are, if you plan ahead. So airfare is not expensive if you plan ahead.
Talk about Build. I want to hear that. Tell them about that.
I'll tell you about Build, but share a room with someone. Bring some granola bars. I've eaten granola bars at real estate events when I was doing real estate. I've slept in the parking lot in my car because I couldn't afford the hotel room at the Monterey Plaza Hotel. I slept in the car. It was way colder than I thought it would be. I remember at 3 a.m. just shivering, but I did what I had to do. So you don't have a money problem. You have a chutzpah problem. You got to just go sell your couch, raise the money. These kids are getting student loans. They're doing what they got to do. $40,000 a year. I hired my first assistant. I started 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. I was paying her like $1,200 a month. And $1,200 is not $40,000. It was scary. We'll try it for 90 days. And I did it. And 90 days later, I brought her on full time and tripled her pay. I didn't double it. I went from 1,200 to 3,600. And then every year I kept adding 1,000. By the time she retired working me, she's my personal assistant. I was paying her $8,800 a month, but she brought me to 400 sales a year from 48. She was amazingly talented. And so you do have the money, you can get the money, you can figure it out. If the need is big enough. I had a big need to want to become successful, and I was willing to fail. And I've spent money on a bus bench at Safeway, thousands of dollars. It didn't work. I did radio twice, thousands of dollars. It failed. And I lost money. Not everything I did turned to gold. But if you do 10 things, 1 or 2 is going to work. And so I am willing to fail. I learn. I make course corrections. I succeed. You wanted to know about Build?
I want to know about Build because, hey, if you're listening to this and you can't afford dinner, come find me or Brent and we'll buy you a pizza and a hot dog and you'll be fine. We promise. Just say, you say go buy me a pizza, I'll get you a pizza. You just got, if you can't afford it, we got you. So
absolutely.
Tell them a little bit about Build because I went to Build. It was super inspiring. I have at least 20 people going with me. And we cannot wait because it's like, that's where all the magic happens when you're in the room with the people. And right. You said in the beginning, that's how you learned. You went to conferences, you learned from people that were doing. So talk to them about Build because we're going to air this very soon.
Okay. So the key to success is getting in the right rooms. That's why I go to 10X and I hang out with Grant Cardone, Gary Brecka, Randy Yarn, different people. John Maxwell is just at another Growth Stack Drive conference. 350 people there. It wasn't huge. John Maxwell was the keynote speaker and I'm there and I get to hang out with John. He opened the event. I closed the event. And so, but it was great, but I didn't know I'd get to, but I pay to get around Tony Robbins, and then I paid to get around John Maxwell. I paid to get around Dr. Lance Wallnow, and I paid to get around Grant Cardone and to meet Usher and to meet Kevin Hart and all these people. You get around, you hear their stories. They're just normal people. Krista's an amazing person. You all know her story. It's incredible. She bootstrapped it. Me too, man. As a dishwasher, paper delivery, aluminum cans, whatever I had to do, scrappy. I wasn't a waiter because I wasn't smart enough to be the waiter. I knew that I was a dishwasher. So guess what I did? Some of you still believe you're a dishwasher and you get what you expect. You need to expect different things. So to explain Build, 4 years ago, Gene Frederick, myself, Rob Flick, and James go, let's go golfing in Scottsdale. Just spend 3 days, take a little break and enjoy the JW Marriott Desert Ridge, the best resort in America in Scottsdale. It's right on the edge of Phoenix and Scottsdale. It's actually, I think, in Phoenix, but it's right there. You think you're in Scottsdale. Amazing resort. I mean, it's just, and so let's go just play golf, swim in the pool, enjoy the lazy river, go out to dinner at night at Roy's Hawaiian Steakhouse, which just hang out, have a good time. Well, people heard about it, go, can we come? Yeah. So 4 more golfers came, then 4 more, then 4 more. Within 3 weeks, it went from the 4 of us to 88 people flew into Scottsdale. I'm like, well, there's 88 of us. Let's get a small room and do a little 3-hour mastermind in the afternoons, maybe like 3 to 6, that dead time in the day. You're kind of done being at the pool and it's not dinner yet. So let's take that time and redeem it. So it ended up being like pretty doggone like historical, monumental. But everyone was in that room. It was very inspiring. So we go, it was so much fun. I go, let's do it again next year. So next year we did it. 400 people showed up. We go, let's do it again next year. But it was so big. Let's move it to the Red Rock Resort, which is about 7 miles outside of the Strip in Las Vegas. It's beautiful. The Red Rock, and 1,200 people showed up. I'm like, man, let's do it again. And then COVID hit. So we canceled it. And then the next year I go, forget this. We're moving on, COVID or no COVID, we're moving on. So we said, we're going to do it. So during COVID, we did the, I'm looking at the battery power on my thing, 5%. I'll plug this in 1 second. So here's the deal. We did it at Gaylord Resort in Dallas. It's in Grapevine, a suburb of Dallas. And during COVID, we had 5,000 people show up. Now, pretty much.
It was awesome. I was there. It was so good.
Yeah. I'm going to plug in while you're doing that.
Yeah,
Tell me how good it was, Krista.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. We had such a good time. Honestly, that was what really inspired me to kind of want to just like go for it even more, being there. And I'm already pretty motivated, but when you're around other achieving people and you hear the stories of where they come from, it makes you realize like I swear, when I heard about your story, and this is not exaggeration, when I heard what you were doing, I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be making that kind of an impact both financially and on the lives that I'm serving. I'm going to be doing that. I didn't say, oh, I can't do that. I was like, if Brent can do it, I can do it. Right.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So we have all these speakers, and it was amazing. Tony Robbins flew in his G650 with his team. He spoke the third day. We did that 3-day event for like $497. I think general admission, if you're willing to sit back in the auditorium, I think it was like $297. So we made it affordable. We want to have impact. This year we found, I don't know how we found it, but we squeezing in 1,000 extra chairs. We'll have 6,000 people this year. Tony Robbins, it was the first time he'd spoken in 2 years. Everybody kept canceling. Everyone told me I was going to get sued up the river. Don't do it. Fear, right? Fear runs. I go, you know what? We're doing it. We're done with COVID. Well, I am not going to participate in the recession of the mind. We're not going to be fearful. We're going to be bold and courageous. So we did this. I didn't get sued. Tony Robbins flew in. He spoke for us. He had so much fun. It was his first big group he talked to in years because of COVID. Nobody was doing it. Everything was Zoom. And so he's coming back this year. He had such a great time. So Tony will be there the third day this year. It's August 23rd. 24th and 25th. If you want to come, it's called, you can go find it online at buildevent22.com, because we're building a future, building retirement, building a sales organization. We're building, not selling. Selling's good. You got to sell, you got to pay your bills. But how you get time and money is by building something you can sell for a lot of money someday, and developing a sales organization so you can retire. And I was able to retire from real estate 4 years ago. I don't have to sell real estate anymore. I get to do whatever I want. No one's trying to call me, no escrow officers, no mortgage officers. Don't you love real estate? I did, but I love my family more. I hope you love your family more. I love my clients, but I honestly, I love my family more than I love my clients. My clients are amazing. I love them, but they're there for me to succeed in business so I can provide for my family. And now that I have enough money, I don't have to work like a dog and grind like I did for so long. And so there's a beginning, a middle, and end. So if you want to come, it's buildevent22.com. Type that in, check it out. Anyone can come. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be really good.
Go there right now and sign up. I promise that you will not regret it. And here's what I want to talk about too, and I think like we aren't even going to talk about any certain companies, okay? Because people get all weirded out by things. But one thing that I know is that I look back now at my life and how much I worked. And Brent, like, I love my clients. I love real estate. And I did so well because I would, like you, I would give up my commission. I would do anything to make the deal work and make people smile. Like, I want them to like me better than I like the money. I was always worried about that. And therefore I did well. But I didn't realize just how much I worked. And I didn't even realize it when I was doing it until I was able to take myself out of the situation. And I look back now and I still tell my husband, I just told him this weekend, I was like, I worked my ever loving butt off. I didn't have a weekend or a night or a vacation, because I remember being in Hawaii and getting up at 3 a.m, working for 6 hours from 3 to 9 while my family was sleeping, sneaking back into bed and acting like I wasn't working. Like, no joke. People would be like, do you have a family? And then I'd be on the phone down the zip line, it was so hard. And now I don't have to do that, but I didn't realize. And I'll tell you, one day you will get tired. I don't care how much you love real estate. There's going to come a day where you're like, I am tired. And for many of you, you're never going to be able to stop. And the second you stop, everything stops. So I didn't know that Build was named that way. And now I understand why you named it Build, because that's so awesome. Because there's more to real estate, and there's building an organization, and there's building your own brokerage, your own organization. Even if you aren't great at this building, we can teach you how to do it just through relationships. So that's what this event is about.
Yes. Building a future. You're dead on. I want to make one point though. If you want to have a big sales organization, my first big event I came to, I brought 19 people that I personally brought. I think 14 I had brought to our company. And then I had 5 guests who were thinking about switching to our company. And I was one of those people in 2009 when I was looking at leaving Remax and switching to Keller Williams. And then in 2017, I was thinking about leaving Keller Williams and going to EXP. So you always go and visit other company stuff. I went to Intero in the Bay Area. I went to a Sales State event. I went to different companies. I was checking them out. I didn't jump at the Sales State opportunity. I didn't jump at the Next Home opportunity or the Intero, but I was looking, and I'm just open-minded. And so when I saw EXP, I made the move. It was obviously very good. But to anyone watching, I think it was really important that I, like a farmer, you want to have a fall harvest party because you get to reap the rewards of all your hard work from spring and summer and the fall, and you want to reap a bountiful harvest party crop where you got to plant the fields in the spring. So by me bringing those 19 people, it was like having a vineyard. You could have one vine or 19 vines, right? You're going to get more grapes, more wine, or one cherry tree or 19 cherry trees. One cherry tree is a cherry tree. 19 cherry trees is a little orchard, and it produces fruit and more beauty, right? Cherry blossoms are beautiful. So by bringing those 19, it was incredibly important. And so if you want to do what I did, then do what I did. If you want, and if you want to, so when Bill comes, don't just show up. People show up and they bring 2 or 3 people. I showed up to my first one with 19, not 2 or 3. So that is a distinction I want to make on this call. Come to Build in Dallas. It's once a year. Come, it'll blow your mind. Hang out with Tony Robbins, best $497. Get your ticket now tonight, your airline ticket. I'm more concerned about your airline ticket because it does explode up all of a sudden. Instead of 165 per person round trip, $300 a couple, it turns into like $797 a person, which is now $1,600 a couple, and it just starts adding up. So get your airline ticket now. August 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Fly out Friday the 26th because Tony, he goes late. He's going to blow your mind. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be life changing. But bring those, beat my record. If I brought 19, you bring 20. If Brent can do it, I can do it. I'm just a guy who loves people, who knows how to work and isn't afraid to fail. And I think that's a key thing. Failure is a prerequisite to success. It's the stepping stones to success. Most people simply don't swing the bat enough. They don't fail enough to ever become great. Snow ski once or twice a year, you're going to fall a lot. Snow ski every day for 30 days, 30 days from now, you're just going to be different. Get the pain over with and get out there, swing the bat and do more numbers. That's why Tony Robbins always says massive action creates results, and you get good. That's good English. You get good quick. You're just not going to improve if you golf once or twice a year. But if you golf every week and you start golfing every day, you're going to improve quickly, especially with some coaching. It's not magic, it's motion. Get out there and start doing things, and you'll learn, okay, when I do this, that doesn't work. When I do this, that goes okay. But man, when I do this, well, that really works good. And pretty much when they bob, you zig. When they zig, you zag. When they bob, you weave. You kind of learn how to do the dance with your client through massive action, doing a lot of it. Also, you become a master salesperson, which is just simply someone who loves. Now, there are people who could use that in a manipulative way. And there are people like you and I who do it in the right way, with love in our hearts, to do the right thing for the clients. And so, but that's what you want to do. You want to get to that level of mastery. All the stress goes away. Life becomes fun.
And I know I'm just mad I bought my tickets like 3 months ago because I paid more for my airline tickets, but at least I'm going. Mine was more than that, but that's a great deal. So I'm going to tell everyone that hasn't booked yet to go ahead and book. So book right now if you're thinking about it. We're not going to be shoving EXP down your throat. What we're going to be doing is teaching you how to learn how to sell. We're going to be teaching you what skills are working right now in today's market. We are going to be showing you some success stories so you can actually open your mind to think, wow, there's more than just selling real estate, that I can actually build a business and build a future that you can actually, one day stop working if you so choose. So go to Build. So it's build22.com.
And by the way, Build event.
Okay.
22.com. Thank you for saying
that. I'll put in the notes, buildevent22.com.
That'll get you there. The other thing too, and Krista didn't know I was going to do this, but if you don't like, what is the big hubbub about EXP? Why did they go from 1,200 to 82,000? We're the only company that's done it in the last few years. Everyone's gone down, we've gone up. Like, do the mathematical. It's just like everybody who's anyone is coming to EXP. We're going to be at 500,000 in the next 5 years. Don't miss this. There'll be 400,000 coming. You're going to be a part of this. But if you like, I don't understand it, just go here. Watch us, www.themodelexplained.com. It goes over all the agent and broker benefits. Do you like benefits? In 33 minutes, it completely lays out why EXP is going to be the largest real estate company in the history of the world by a factor of like 5 times what anybody's ever done in the past, because it's agent owned and agent led. So watch that, themodelexplained.com. And then I want you to DM Krista, reach out to Krista, talk to Krista about it. And she's amazing and she can help you that way. She did not know I was going to do that, a free plug, but I mean, you could at least learn about our company and it would blow your mind. You will not sleep. If you watch that tonight before 7 or 8 or 9 when things slow down, themodelexplained.com, you'll get EXP insomnia. You will have watch it tomorrow morning. Warning you, free warning, don't watch it at night. You will be asleep because you'll be so excited. So
I did that, Brent, and I watched it like 7 or 8 times and I just, the light bulb went off. And the thing that I think that most agents lack, and this is what we offer with EXP, this is what my organization offers, is tons of support. Like we give people everything they need to succeed. We have, multiple meetings every single week. We have coaching calls, they're live. We inspire, we encourage, we teach sales trainings and, how to do a listing presentation, how to get leads, how to get sellers. We teach you everything. And that's why most agents fail, is they do not have the coaching, the accountability, and the support and the systems. We offer that to you, and you get it like people like Brent and myself when you join our organization. And that's why we don't just want to bring you in, we want to keep you in and we want to help you grow. So that's what I love about this company so much. So Brent, thank you so much. So one more time, the website that they can go to for the event. And then one more time, the website they can go to watch the model explain, then reach out to me and I will tell you all about it. So the event again is
buildevent22.com.
buildevent22.com. And then
if they want to know about EXP, or maybe you haven't looked at it in 2 or 3 years, just came out months ago. Glenn Sanford goes, "Can I use this?" The founder of our company, he's a billionaire, goes, "Can I use yours?" I go, "Sure, Glenn." It just came out. He loves it. He's actually using mine to explain his own company to people. But 33 minutes, it's edited, it's succinct, it's been to legal, it's been to marketing. It's just people like, this is awesome. So that's what they say. I say I had fun doing it, but it's called themodelexplained.com. It's a website, hit play, rolls 24/7. Again, fair warning, I'd watch it in the morning with a cup of coffee, because if you watch it at night, you will not sleep. You'll get EXP insomnia like the rest of us. And thanks for having me on today, Krista. It's amazing.
Great. I appreciate it.
Adore you. Yeah, everybody loves you. Who doesn't love Krista? She's amazing.
You're so cute. Everyone loves you. That's why we're such good friends. But everyone, you see this excitement. He's this way, we're this way, because we believe in this and we really want to help you build your business. So go to the event, go live. Brent and I will buy you a hot dog and some pizza. We promise. Give us a big fat hug. And we just can't wait to see you there. So everyone, Brent, thank you so much. I am so fired up. You got everyone fired up, and thank you for your time. I always say to everyone, if you could leave one piece of advice for everyone, whether it's business or personal, what would that piece of advice be?
I would say start talking to a minimum of 10 people every day about whatever it is you're trying to do. Multifamily, listings, buyers, people, they talk to 10 people in 2 weeks. Do 10 a day, little bite sizes, and do that for 10 days. You'll talk to 100 people in the next 10 days about whatever it is you're trying to do: agent attraction, building a sales organization, multifamily, looking for sale by owners. 10 a day. Do that for 10 days. Meet someone every night and have accountability. Do the 10. And it is not magic. It's not hocus pocus. It's motion. The 10 a day is motion. And you're going to talk to 100 people in the next 10 days. You're going to condense things. Wow. And then wonderful things will happen for you if you'll just apply that 10 a day thing. And you could do it. You got tomorrow. Why wouldn't you do it? Fear. Fear will hold you back. You're afraid to fail. Forget that. It's time. It's time to go succeed. If you'll do that, and then at the end of 10 days, don't stop.
Keep going.
Keep going. Get it done in the mornings. You'll have more clients than you ever dreamed of. And you can pick and choose the sweet, nice ones. And then the ones who are kind of grumpy and crotchety, and your red flags going, they're going to be like, boom, you let them go. Hey, I don't think I'm the right agent for you. How would you like to be able to release $5 million client because you don't need it, because you're not desperate, because you mastered lead generation? So that's my last bit of advice.
I love it. Okay, everyone, remember, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you're just as fired up as I am, and understand this, that learning is not power, but implementation is. The action happens when you implement. So now it's time to go out and implement. Go to the website, sign up for Brent's event. You'll see us there. And we just appreciate your time. And thanks for being here. Thanks so much for watching my video. You can learn more about how to be a successful real estate professional by watching other videos that I have. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. And as always, make it a great home selling and buying day.